president has arrived at the National House of Chiefs in Manhyia, where he is due to address MMDCs and chiefs who have gathered there. You know that the fight against Galamsey has heightened. We brought you a documentary, Distraction for Gold, where my colleague Erastus Asaridonko brought you how people are mining irresponsibly and causing destruction to natural resources. Where in the Tano Nimre forest, for example, you could see that Akunta mining was undertaking mining activities there when it has not been licensed or given permission to be doing that. Again, water bodies that have been destroyed within the week. We brought you pictures from some river bodies in the country showing the spate of destruction that has been meted out to these river bodies, and that has resulted in the president meeting with chiefs and MMDCs to discuss how to salvage the environment, because what's going on, if nothing is done, would land Ghana in a very serious situation. People are even predicting that we may be importing water if nothing is done. Yesterday we were told that if we even leave river bodies without doing anything to them, they would have to take 100 years to resettle, to regain their natural, position. What are we going to do about it? And that's why we're encouraging you to talk about it with the hashtag No to Galamsey. What you're seeing on your screen now is the president exchanging pleasantries with the chiefs. He just arrived in the hall, so he's exchanging pleasantries with the chiefs who have been waiting for him for some time now. After the exchange of pleasantries, he will then sit for the proceedings to begin. He's being led around by his Minister for Land and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jenapo, and of course the Registrar for the National House of Chiefs. He's still exchanging pleasantries there. Earlier we saw the President of the National House of Chiefs, or Jiahoho Yao Jebi II, who is sitting, or who is chairing this meeting. He was exchanging pleasantries with the Lands Minister there. So we expect the president to be telling us exactly what his government is about to do in the next phase of the fight against Galamsey. We've seen so many interventions. We've seen so many forces deployed to help fight the menace, but little has been achieved. If nothing at all. So today, the expectation is, what else will the president be telling the nation as to what is happening? We've seen the chiefs on their feet now. We'll be taking you there shortly so you can follow exactly what is happening in the hall. That is the meeting between the president and the National House of Chiefs. We understand some MMDCs will also be in attendance. This is happening at the House of Chiefs in Manhyia. So we'll be taking you there soon for you to follow exactly what is happening. But this is a meeting between President and the National House of Chiefs. Join the conversation with the hashtag No to Galamsey. Your voice must be heard on this. Where we are as a country, we are at a point where no one can sit on the fence. We have to join the conversation and let our voices be heard as to how this fight can be won. But anytime you are sharing your views, do it with the hashtag No to Galamsey. Remember that this is an extended version of News Desk because of what's happening. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. We are everywhere. Whatever is happening around the country, we'll bring that to you live here on Joy News. Trust us to bring you everything live. Let's go over now to Manhyia, where this meeting is taking place.
So the welcome will be in my welcome address. So we invite the Registrar of Kumbuna to lead us in a short prayer. Thank you.
This is the collateral president I've done in West Sudan. As I'm very solid behind you.
Shall we be in the mood of prayer? In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the beneficent, we pray to you that today members of this house have gathered to meet His Excellency the President of the Republic. We commit the meeting into your hands and we pray that the meeting will be successful at the end of the day. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
Thank you very much. We go straight to introduction of members of the National House of Chiefs to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. And so, Registrar, and after that, I'll go straight to deliver my welcome address. The Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources says whatever he wants to say. The President is competent and has everything to say, so he will not speak. So from me, we will listen to the address by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and then the open forum will not come on. We will have closed-door meeting. And at that point, we will ask all the press to go out and request Nananum also to close their mobile phones. We don't want anybody to record anything when we are doing the closed-door meeting. Thank you. So the introduction.
Respectfully, Your Excellency, I want to introduce members of the National House of Chiefs who are present here. We'll start from my immediate right. We have Kumbuna Iri II, Kumbuna. We have Dasebre Osebonsu II, Mampohine. We have Nana Ansa Eduba, Yamfohine. We have Nini Sekete II, Kono of Menya Krobo. We have Defiama Na Dikwangwini Domalai, Defiama Na. We have Piman Pemya Kabrese, the Fifth, Yejihine. We have Nana Ifa Apenten, Bampata Hene. We have Tobe Bobolulu. We have Tobe Anoma Aveno. We have Osia Diaye Akunfi Amiao Techimahen. We have Oje Main Dudu Ampem the second Nsoko Hene. We have very much Afotnebo Kodia Kumawu Hene. We have Nana Fosuji Abo Akoto Bechem Hene. We have Nana Osenya Akon the second Busuga Hene. We have Nana Kongura Tingurugi the first Kongura. We have Bako Ninaba Heluna Nasinbon La the third Bako Ninaba. We have Pio Rana Kogo Mamra Banswa the second. We have Nana Tidi Kro Kone Odamba the third.
Be on your feet, please. That's right.
We have Nana Obrimpong Kenya the second, Bejamanse. We have Namona Dana Daniel Bugri Nabu the second, Namona. We have Nana Obombo Seura Lipora the third. We have Kusogura Kungraga the first, Kusugura. And we have Katachi Bumangoma, you also, my hand. And we have Okucha So Kantamanto Orai Ajekum, the second, Achem Bosome, my hand, Nana Sorry. We have Sagnali Na Yakubu and Dane. We have Nana Sedu Lana, and we have Naga, that is from Naga, Bongu traditional area. Naga Naba, We have Nabiopio from, and we have Nagodi Naba. We have Nana Brekumhene. We have Nana Trano Hene. We have Nana Kumawu Hene. Sorry, not Kwawuma Hene.
Forgotten their name. You have the name on the list.
No, because of time factor. Nana Kwawuma Hene, that is Dasebre Akwamwa Japan the second. Brahma is Siam Mahine, or therefore Afankwa the third. We have Nana Osiadeye Kwesikenen the fourth, Etimukwa Central Region. We have Osajefo Kwame Ekonu the 10th. Enyai Abasa Mahine. We have Nana Kwame Mponsa the second, Awaso Mahine. We have Nana Nsoko, Nana Abase Mahine. We have Nana Basa in the Bro East. I can't see those. We have Nana Tapa in the Oti region. Before Nana Tapa, Nana, please, I can't see you properly. Yeah. Sorry, Nana name here. That is your day before Nana Tapa. We have Nana Ntotoso, Mahine. We have Nana Kenyase, number 1, Mahine. We have Nana Japekrum Hine. We have Go there. Kudobra.
Yeah. Hello.
We have Bakpagba na Adam Nantongba, and we have Kolo Kuli Bukti Lima the 4th, Guru Kuru. We have the Asebre Kebu, and we see the 7th, Abiaze Domnase. We have Naba Azikri Abu Grago Asoka the 2nd, Boko Naba. We have Okotre Dom Seti Akon the 2nd, Dobo Mahine. We have Adebo Anemel the 6th, Osudoku, and Na Dauda Yamia Toka the 2nd, Tunjurana Bopewura Jinapo the 2nd, Bopewura. We have Pe Ditundini Ediali Ayijitam the 3rd, Tanapio Osajefo Ajamambadu the 2nd, Domahene. Nana Mpra Bisimuna the 3rd, Kratiura. Or therefore, Amwakwabuadu the 8th, Bremai Esikuma Mahine. Osajefo Amwatia Oforipenin Oche Mahine. And we have Na Power Recabo the 3rd, the Vice President of National House of Chiefs, that is Lola Na, and our President Odiahoho Yajebi, the 2nd, Sehi Anyaso Mainhen, and President of the National House of Chiefs.
Welcome, Your Excellency.
February, the Registrar of the National House of Chiefs, and my staffs are here with me.
Honorable Minister, if you wish to make a few, okay. Introduction. I've already acknowledged the presence of the chairman of a mineral, the chairman of a Forestry Commission, the CEOs of Minerals Commission and the Forestry Commission, and of course, members of the Forestry Commission, Minerals Commission, and Executive Director of Office of Administrator of Stool Lands. You are welcome. After delivering my welcome address, we will allow His Excellency the President also to respond. And then we'll go into closed session, just as I said. And when we go to closed session, I will make a few remarks again, and then I will nominate 5 of us also to make some comments. And finally, we will all listen to His Excellency for his comments on the issues that we will raise in the comments. I understand after delivering my speech, before His Excellency delivers his speech, there will be a documentary on Galamsey. And that one, Nananum will watch, everybody here will be allowed to stay in, but then after that, you all go out. I mean, please, when you go out, you don't want to stay in the foyer, because that is part of the chambers. So when we say out, out, you go down. I hope you appreciate that. Thank you. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, my Vice President of the National House of Chiefs, Na Poweli Cabo III, Lorana, Your Royal Majesties, Nananum, Ministers of State present, His Lordship Justice Obindi Awuo, Registrar and staff, friends from the media, members of the security agencies, and the clergy present. Let me use this platform to express my profound gratitude to Nananum for attending this important second general meeting of the House in spite of the short notice. This meeting was originally scheduled for next week. However, His Excellency the President requested me to invite you to this meeting today. Therefore, any inconveniences caused as a result of the change in date are deeply regretted. Your Excellency, on behalf of the members of the National House of Chiefs, we congratulate you on your recent appearance at the 77th session of the United Nations Conference held in New York. Mr. President, Nananum would like to associate ourselves with your profound statement at the United Nations General Assembly to the effect that every bullet or bomb fired in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war directly affects the pocket of Africans, in other words, African economy. Indeed, Nananum are very much concerned about the negative effects of the war on African economies. Nananum would like to call on Russia and Ukraine, and indeed the civilized world, to cease fire and instead adopt the use of diplomatic procedures to settle their differences. Moreover, Nananum expressed our appreciation to you for successfully representing the chiefs and people of Ghana on Monday, 19 September 2022, at the burial ceremony of the late Queen Elizabeth of England, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. President, in May 2022, the Honorable Minister for Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, met with members of the House and the National Queen Mothers Association of Ghana here to discuss the National Energy Transition Plan, where the government of Ghana is trying to achieve net zero emission of fossil fuel and other toxic substances released into the atmosphere that gradually destroy the ozone layer. Indeed, Nananum are solidly behind your government in taking pragmatic measures to successfully transit from the burning of fossil fuel to the use of renewable and cleaner energy. school dropouts, as well as undermines the revenue mobilization drive of the country. In view of these developments, the NANOM are solidly behind your administration to apply the appropriate sanctions against persons who are engaged in the practice of illegal mining, irrespective of their status. Mr. President, the Ghanaian public is well aware your government has commenced formal engagements with the IMF, International Monetary Fund, to secure an economic recovery program for the country in the midst of the current economic challenges. NANOM would like to urge the Ghana side of the negotiation team to maximize all their economic competencies and technical know-how to secure a good deal to boost investor confidence in the economy for its improvement. NANOM would like to appeal to the government of Ghana using this medium through our sector ministry for the recruitment of staff, especially the non-professional class, whose services are urgently required, particularly in the judicial sectors and the records department of the national and regional houses of chiefs, including the traditional councils. Furthermore, the National House of Chiefs is also appealing to the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Addo, the Ministers of National Security and Interior, to try as much as possible to check the crime rate in Ghana in recent times, including the gruesome murder of the late Georgina Asobotwe at Mankesim, as well as the murdering of private security men in the Wa municipality in the Upper West region. Indeed, we are very happy that your Minister for Interior has made a definite statement about the chieftaincy dispute in the Upper East region. That is Boko. We urgently appeal to your government to pay NANOM's outstanding quarterly allowances. We also demand economic sitting and traveling allowances to reflect present-day economic conditions. Mr. President, on behalf of NANOM, you are gladly welcome to Kumasi into the House. Thank you very much. So, very good. Oh, I thought, no, they are showing the video first, right? It's okay, okay.
The President of the National House of Chiefs, the Vice President, and distinguished members of the National House of Chiefs, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Senior Advisor to the President, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and Member of Parliament for Damango, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization, and Rural Development and Member of Parliament for Okre, the Metropolitan Chief Executive for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, members of the media. The President of the House, when I was greeting him, told me he thought that I would be in Kente to come and address the National House of Chiefs today. But I told him that there was no Kente of mine that could match up to the Kente of the members of the National House. So I thought it would be safer to be in a suit. I'm grateful to the President of the National House of Chiefs, the forward-thinking Manhyia of Sefianriaso Okiahoho Yaojebi II, for so readily agreeing to my respectful request to meet with you this morning. And I'm further grateful that at such relatively short notice, so many of you, our distinguished traditional rulers from the various parts of our nation, have found it possible to be here this morning to meet with you, to meet with me. I asked for this meeting because I want to speak to you about a matter of great national importance, and that is this vexed issue of Galamsey. The President and members of the National House of Chiefs, you have been for centuries the custodians and owners of the lands of our nation. Today, between you and I, as the President of the Republic, we are responsible for the management of all lands in Ghana. Indeed, 80% of the lands in this country continue to be under your custody, much of it having been acquired through the blood and sacrifices of your ancestors. The remainder of 20%, which I hold in trust for the people of Ghana, derives from state acquisition from you. What this means is that ultimately, the welfare of the state of the lands is our joint responsibility. Although by statute, the minerals in the soil belong to the President in trust for the people. Historically, we discharge that responsibility well. Even though for centuries we have been a mining nation, mining did not pose a threat to the health of our environment and water bodies. The rules that you put in place for mining ensure that the sanctity of our lands remained intact and our water bodies remained unpolluted. Tragically, in the modern era, that is no longer the case. And that is why I've come to you today to talk about how together we can repair this dramatic situation. Since I took office on 7th January 2017, nearly 6 years ago, I have made it a central feature of my presidency to lead in the efforts to rid our country of this madness, which we all now call Galamsey. Indeed, it was an important aspect of my inaugural address of that day. It has not been easy, it has not been popular, and we have not got the immediate results that I was looking for. Indeed, in the last elections of 2020, my stance on the issue cost my party and I significant losses in the mining communities. It turned out that my statement that I was putting my presidency on the line in the fight against Galamsey was neither bombast nor recklessness. It was the simple truth. We have tried many initiatives, including that of the community mining scheme and the establishment of a new legal regime for dealing with the perpetrators of this phenomenon, which has imposed severe sanctions on those Ghanaians and foreigners convicted of illegal mining. Still, we have not won the fight. It is obvious that if we are to win the fight, you and I have to take the lead to collaborate closely to do so. And that is why I'm here today. After our meeting, I'll also be meeting with the other half of local government, the metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives in the 90 metropolitan, municipal, and district areas across the country where mining activities take place, to seek their active collaboration too. There are many requests I intend to make of you in the closed-door session of our meeting. But one of the most significant, which I have to state now, is to seek your assistance to take partisan political interests out of the fight against Galamsey. It can only succeed if it is a truly national battle, which no one seeks to exploit for political gain, as we saw in the last election. The progress of our country depends on all of us, all citizens of Ghana, all fellow Ghanaians, pulling together to defeat this existential threat to our future. I've said it before, we are not against mining, but we cannot accept mining in a manner that risks destroying our country. Our nation has always been a mining nation. Indeed, in the 15th century, when the first Europeans, the Portuguese, came to our shores, they called the first European-influenced town Elmina, meaning the mine in Portuguese, because from their ships, as they approached our shores, that is the activity they saw our people engaged in. It is not surprising that in colonial times we were called the Gold Coast. I ask all of you to join hands with me in the fight against illegal mining in order to bring an end to the devastation of our landscape and the pollution of our water bodies. We have to win that fight to keep our environment clean and protect our heritage for our descendants, as you did so well in the past. I'd like, therefore, to conclude these introductory remarks and ask the media to excuse us, to play you a short video to indicate the nature of the problem. After the video.
Oh, after the video.
After the video.
Thank you.
Did this. Decades of impunity and disregard for the law have resulted in this. The war against illegal mining has been fought and lost since the 1970s. And we all must take the fall for it. As a people, our lack of collective commitment has been a bane to the fight against illegal mining. For decades, successive governments' efforts have been thwarted by the very people expected to be at the forefront of the fight. The destruction to our water bodies and degradation of our lands did not start today or recent years. Galamsey has remained prevalent, with efforts devoted to countering the practice hampered by several key factors. River and Cobra, Brim, Offing, Bia, Bonsa, Tano, hitherto surrounded by green and rich forest, flowed clean and pure. It was the pride of the people who lived on clean drinking water from these sources. All the crops, water bodies, and precious minerals in our land stayed peacefully together in a delicate balance. But today, the collective pride and dignity can no more be boasted of. The rich farmlands and clean water bodies have largely been destroyed. Illegal gold mining devastates the environment, causing deforestation, biodiversity, and habitat loss, as well as water, air, and soil pollution through the release of toxic chemicals. A habit that successive national leaderships have cautioned, impressed upon, and fought to stop the few out of the larger population for the good of us all now, our children and their children's children have yielded little. For decades, a section of us have continuously participated in the degradation of the land we all depend on and will depend on for a lifetime. The ongoing prevalence of Galamsey could threaten Ghana's agricultural production, increase the risk of social unrest, and heighten the potential for ethnic tensions between the influx of Chinese workers into Ghana and the local populace. We may sit in our homes thinking this does not affect us, our family, or immediate environment. What we may not know is that the activities of a few illegal miners in the Etiwa forest or along the banks of the Brim River expose all of us to serious health and environmental risks. So, it is on us, the politicians, traditional authorities, religious leaders, business leaders, and citizens who have aided or guarded the vices of Galamsey through decades to end it all and restore hope for future generations and dignity for this generation. The effects of Galamsey go beyond deforestation and water pollution.
All of you can see the level of devastation. It should baffle all of us as citizens, as policymakers, and as stakeholders in this fight, how an operation like this in the heart of the forest and in the faraway areas of our country can go on without notice by the police, the chiefs, the local political leadership, assembly people, the district chief executive, for example, and I should dare say even the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission here. The point we keep making about the fight against illegal mining being a collective one, I think this is a classic evidence of that call that it will require the concerted effort of all of us. It cannot be the fight for government alone or for ministers alone. It has to be the fight for all of us, citizens and all the actors in the body politic of Ghana.
The situation is dire, and if we continue to look on as a people, we may wake up one day with no water to drink, no land to farm, and no natural resources to boast of. It is time to come together in loyalty to our motherland, Ghana, devoid of political, religious, and tribal affiliations, to fight this canker.
We cannot look on as our very existence as a country is put in jeopardy and our water bodies, forests, and landmass are destroyed. Even with the ban, it has been a never-ending battle with the Galamseyers.
Collective action is required. Stop Galamsey. let's save our environment. We did this. Decades of impunity and disregard for the law have resulted in this. The war against illegal mining has been fought and lost since the 1970s.
It's finished. Madam President and members of the National House of Fees, I thank you for your attention. And I'll ask the media at this stage to excuse us as we go into closed session. Thank you.
Press, but no, please wait. We have a small presentation to make. His Excellency made a comment that when he came, I was expecting him to wear cloth. Or your hine, or your dish here, no urban and no high. That's what I was expecting. It doesn't mean he doesn't have the cloth. But now that he's with us, Nana Bompata, please come forward. We have one piece of kente cloth. They say security people have seized our kente cloth. Eh? Who is holding the cloth? Nana Bompata, move to His Excellency and do the presentation on our behalf. Eh?
All right, so you're still watching the president have an interaction with the National House of Chiefs in Kumasi. In the meeting, we also have some regional ministers there and MMDCs as well. They are now moving into a closed-door meeting between the president himself and the participant without the media. So it will be the National House of Chiefs, the president, the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, his deputies, the regional ministers from the affected regions. I saw particularly the Western Regional Minister, Kobi Otre Dako Mensah there. Some MMDCs are also in attendance. I also saw with the president, Dan Kweku Boche, who is Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. I also saw Yao Osafo Mafo. I saw Simon Osei Mensah, who is the Ashanti Regional Minister. Of course, his region is also affected by illegal mining, Galamsey. The president stated that his fight against Galamsey obviously cost him some vote and seat in the last election. He's pleading that partisan politics must be taken out of the fight against Galamsey, else Ghana won't win. He says that we can only win when all of us have taken keen interest in this fight and have removed colors from this fight, because it's a matter that borders on all of us. He showed a documentary there that showed the kind of destruction that Galamsey has caused to the environment. It shows that if nothing is done immediately, a lot will happen. He gave a sort of historical background as to when the Europeans arrived in Elmina, they named it Elmina because they saw how people involved or engaged in mining. So mining started long ago and not today. Just that today we are doing it in a very unsustainable manner, and that's why they called it Elmina there. So that's the president speaking to us there. This is still Joy News. It was the extended version of Joy News Desk. We'll take a quick break, and afterwards we'll bring you Joy News today here on the Joy News channel. Stay with us.